Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Beyond Reality. If you want to find out what's happening in this week ahead with the beautiful Libra full moon energy, stay tuned and we will have a deep dive into this week ahead, having a look into the cards. But first of all, we're just going to go over a few little things. So this is my website. For those of you that are interested in having a psychic reading, a lot of the Beyond Mystic family has already had readings. So I'll be talking to a few of you that I already know a little bit more in person. So I have a little bit of information on what I do. So unlock your full potential. So a psychic reading with me, we really have a look into quantum jumping, and we have a look in what's coming up right in the moment, and also look at where you want to be. So in a card session with me and looking at your aura, we really look at like what's coming up in the middle and how we can close this gap to kind of like slingshot you to where you want to be. So yeah, I love working with clients one-on-one. So please reach out to me and book a session if you're feeling drawn. And we also have the Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. So we're on our third iteration of YouTube. So yeah, JC is doing extremely well to keep things above board. Also, you can check him out on Rumble as well. There's so many great upcoming shows. We have J Snip coming up. We have Ricardo Bosi, who is another fellow Aussie, and Jay Weiner and Julie. We also have all of the gorgeous Beyond Mystic Divine Feminine Oracles, which I'm so grateful that I got to meet in person. Oh, and as you can tell, I'm back home in my little studio here. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for the beautiful time I had overseas. It was incredible. Please remember to use the booking code Beyond Mystic in all caps for booking a session with me to make sure that you get the 10% discount. So let's have a look into this beautiful Libra full moon energy that we have, which will be all about like balance and relationships. So there'll be interesting things coming up. For some of you, it might be a time to kind of like keep things a little bit more zipped, to keep the peace, to keep the balance. For others, it might actually be about speaking up to restore the balance. So it's going to be an interesting time. I'm interested to see what the cards are saying. I did feel drawn to picking a few different decks today. And also, this beautiful little crystal decided it wanted to come back from Sedona with me. So this was one that I bought in a little crystal shop over there. It's blue opaphite, and it was like a magnet getting drawn to this crystal. So it wanted to come on the show today. And this one is really great for doing past life work. It's really great for like astral travel, doing a lot of like lucid dreaming type work. So I don't know if you guys can see it too well, but it is really such a beautiful stone. The other crystal today is a Vogel wand. So this was another one that wanted to come to the party. Really great for clearing up anything within the energy bodies. Great for doing like cloud busting work. Yeah, great for all kinds of like healing, travel journey work, like in the dream realms and things, and amazing for activating different energy points. So these two wanted to come to the party today. And the cards that wanted to come and play with us, the Relationship Oracle. So we've used this one before. I can't remember if it's on my YouTube channel or if it's on Beyond Mystic, but yeah, this Relationship Oracle deck is really good. And the one that came up was the bottom of the deck. Now, quite often when we get a card that comes from the bottom of the deck, it will be something that is either kind of like holding us back or something that is below the surface that we need to look into. Now, what was coming up was number 33, and this is the card of reflection. And we actually see this kind of like design or symbol, like a mandala, has all these beautiful kind of arms. It's meant to symbolize a central point within you, and to look at like the reflection that we're kind of putting out to the world, or what's being mirrored back to us from the world. So I'll just read to you this little thing, but this little symbol is like little outstretched arms. So it can also be like what you're putting out is reflecting back to you. So the energy of reflection supports our growth through the insights we get from the contemplations of self and others. So when I picked this card, there was a really strong feeling around this Libra full moon energy to have a look at like relationships. Now, I don't just mean like romantic relationships, but have a look at your relationship to yourself. That was strongly coming up in this, the energy of this week's reading. The other card that we also have is the Divine Feminine Oracles deck. I felt really drawn to picking a card from this. And we have the one Dakini. So this beautiful card, we see this goddess. Now, she's interesting because she represents the enlightened feminine. She's also a tantric goddess, and she's about trusting your gut instinct beyond reason. So she has this wisdom that comes with her. She trusts her intuition, and she really lets her intuition guide her as well. So she actually transcends duality. So it's really interesting that we have this card come up when we're talking about Libra, because Libra is about the balance. It's, you know, about sort of like both sides of things as well. And here we have a card, Dakini, who represents transcending that. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She also represents like being more kind of like elusive and playfulness. She also represents enlightenment of the female principles of non-duality. So she actually is also known as a space dancer and a sky goer. So to me, this kind of represents someone who's perhaps even more ET based. So I do feel that it is getting to a more enlightened version of self. So in Tibetan Buddhism, she also represents, I'm just reading a little bit out of the book, just bits that are jumping out. So in Tibetan Buddhism, she also represents that enlightened state. She also represents the outer realm of the Tantric Yogini and the mundane realm as the woman who teaches spiritual truths in each moment of her everyday life. So yeah, she has this beautiful embodiment of ecstatic bliss. She's also appears as like a messenger and a protector. But even when we just tune into the energy and frequency, what we see on this card is just, how should I get the word in English? This central point and this central knowingness, it's like a reflection as well of the inside, but the universe on the inside of you also reflecting to the universe on the outside. So I do feel it is strongly working with tantric energies whilst we're going through this beautiful Libra full moon this week. Oh, and don't forget to check out as well, we also have Elena, the gorgeous Elena, and Janine doing the Libra full moon singing bowl meditation this week. So this will be really great. It'll be amazing to sit like and have that reflection come up, because it is about balance, harmony, and relationships. So this will be on April the 3rd, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and it will be live. So the impact of you guys tuning in is even greater. If you can catch this live, I highly recommend to do so, because it kind of cleans and sweeps everything out in real time. So please make sure to check that out as well. So let's have a look into the main part of the reading for this week, and I'll just move aside some cards. All right, let's get to it. So just looking into this week ahead. Okay, Spirit is just giving me a few cards to work with. And it will be interesting to see if the themes that are coming up in my one-on-one readings with you guys, if this is also coming up in our weekly group session that we're doing right here too. All right, so I've got 4 cards. And for those of you that see me read regularly, you guys know that I like to just feel into the cards. So let's tune in. And this is called psychometry. So it's the power of kind of like holding different objects and feeling. So even in like readings, I'll sometimes do this with photos. If I'm doing in person, which is highly rare these days, I will still hold some objects. So sometimes jewelry or certain objects that someone might have brought in. But most of the time we will pick a card to represent people or situations and read this way. So what I'm actually seeing come up, this is really interesting. And I always say it as I see it. So what I'm actually seeing come up this week is interesting. I'm actually seeing a cow with a bull ring. Now, this may even represent some Taurus energy coming up strongly. So Taurus is beautiful. It is ruled by Venus, and Libra is also ruled by Venus as well. But what I'm seeing is this white, holy looking cow. I actually feel like it looks like something that would be in India that's being worshipped. But I'm seeing this cow being led and being pulled in a certain direction. So I'm just going to feel into where I see it go. Now, to me, this sign also can represent the finer things in life. If we're looking at Taurus, it can represent like the maternal mother side of things. It can represent a love of finer things in life. But it can also represent something that's a little bit stubborn. So it could also be why we're getting shown that image of the bull being led by the ring and the string. So I'll just see what else Spirit is showing me. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm seeing like a galactic sky that's formed in the background with this. So to me, this sort of represents that there could be some other kind of movement when we head into the cycle of Taurus. So that's interesting because we're reading for this week ahead, but it could also imply that there is some certain things happening for my beautiful Tauruses that are watching, to pay close attention to where you're being swayed or where you're being moved. But I also feel that what we're heading into right now is the lead up to the month of May, when we really will be celebrating Taurus in a lot more depth, because we are going to have quite a few eclipses. We've got one coming up on the 20th of April, which will be an Aries eclipse. And then in the May, let me just check this quickly, we will also be having a South Node, but we will have another eclipse on the full moon on the 6th of May. So I do feel that what we're setting up now with this beautiful Libra energy, and this week ahead, we're setting up ready to roll into May. So you might be starting new adventures, you might be finishing things, whatever it is. I do feel that there's a high influence around that Taurus energy. So let's flip the cards over. Oh, and the first card that we have is Taurus energy. So we see that right down the bottom. Now, this is why I love to read the cards this way. With the Six of Discs as well, we also see this beautiful Divine Mother influence with the gold and the pink and the rose. We also see the moon. So it does feel like things that are perhaps hidden are going to be coming to the surface a lot more. We then also have the Tower card. Now, remember, like with the Hebrew, you guys have heard me say this before, this little symbol down here, this little Hebrew glyph is called Peh, which means that our words are as precious as gold. Now, this is a theme that I've had come up for all of this year so far, is to really watch our words. And I just saw 12:12 on my little clock. So look at what we are steadfast in. What is it that we are creating? What is it that we are perhaps not budging on? What is it that we need to be fixed on and kind of double down on? It does feel like there will be a purging of things that are not meant for us, but we will be moving into a different direction, a little bit sheltered, a little bit more protected. We do see that it's perhaps not going a little bit unscathed. We also see little bullet wounds around the heart chakra with this as well. And we do see having to perhaps reflect and look at like disappointment. I feel my throat chakra go as we talk about this. This is kidney energy. This is fear energy. So some of the things that we might be heading towards might seem a little bit out of our depth, might seem like a little bit fearful. But yeah, I do feel a very strong message looking at these cards with the moon energy, with the Cancerian energy, to really try and kind of go with your own flow. Now, remembering we had the Dakini card, we also had reflection card too. This is about holding peace within like your own universe. Remember, we also said that it's about working with tantric energies and things this week too. So let's just get some clarifiers and have a look at what is coming up. But yeah, for me with like the 6 as well, it does represent where we're starting to see a little bit more movement, perhaps to this tower falling. So interesting moment this week ahead. I'm just flipping the cards. We have Queen of Wands, the Page of Wands, Justice, Wheel of Fortune, Temperance, and Death. So I do feel this is to stay in your deep, heartfelt authenticity, to only kind of be putting yourself out there more in regards to like spiritual things. So be very careful like with your words at the moment. I do feel that we are getting into alignment to do with this gateway, to do with like ascension, and to do with like what it is that we're choosing to anchor. So be really, really mindful of your thoughts. And if you feel yourself sort of sway towards things that you don't want to create, restore that balance, bring it back. So Queen of Cups, Page of Wands. Now, for those of you that have been following me for the last couple of years, you'll see that when I talk about the Justice card, whether it's in this deck or my favorite deck where it's called Adjustment, to me it represents sort of like an opening or a portal going from third into fourth and fifth dimension. So it is also about justice, but I do see that we're heading towards new times. The Wheel of Fortune to me is another Taurus energy. Now, it is about getting into alignment. My favorite version of this card in the Thoth deck actually has the stars above, and we see the Wheel of Fortune come in alignment with these stars, and we see the protector, the Egyptian crocodile god Sebek on the bottom, sort of keeping the underworld at bay. So I really do feel this is like to get into cosmic alignment with who you are on a higher level. So you guys might be going through like deep evaluation, deep reflection this week, and possibly even a little bit of a dark night of the soul, a little bit of perhaps saying goodbye to the old, and a little bit of death energy coming up. I will just have a look where they want me to go. And I forget the name of this deck, but it's a beautiful deck. It's a black and white one with some beautiful color. Let's see. Oh, and we just had cards fall out. Okay, I'm just going to read as is. So it definitely is to really be in alignment with self. And I've got a few stuck together. We've got the star and peace. This represents hope and peace. So everyone watching, if you could please hold the intention of hope and peace in your heart, in your mind, while these deceptive trickster like energies are still playing out the game. We also have Daughter of Pentacles with the Five of Swords. So this is also about like protecting innocent children. It's also with the Daughter of Pentacles too, protecting those that have a magic in relation to like nature, in relation to animals. With the Princess of Daughter of Pentacles as well. This is what I call a self-concept card. It's about like your thoughts actually creating your reality too. And we have Son of Cups, which for me is the shaman that walks between both worlds. So don't let defeat get to you. Create your own reality. Continue to meditate and connect with both worlds. And I actually just want to finish this video just with a couple of moments of silence as well and reflection, why we just feel into the energy of everything that we just said. So just letting that sit and rest and just breathing in deeply. Nice big deep exhale. And you guys can continue to deep breathe. I'm just going to pop up a couple of little reminders. So remembering that we have the Libra full moon singing bowl meditation, and please use the booking code BeyondMystic in all caps to receive 10% off a session with me. There's a bit more information on this, and you guys can go check out and explore times. I really help with discovering your soul purpose and sort of looking more into that. There's a couple of testimonies, free meditations, things of that nature on there. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube channel. And I look forward to seeing you guys back here next week. Please have a beautiful week and set your intentions. Friday will be a beautiful day to work with these Venusian energies, but of course, work with the full moon energy. And please make sure to check in with the crystal bowls and set your intentions there. I love you all. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.